Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Dear brothers and sisters, today inshallah we want to continue again with chapter 28. As we discussed last time that the people of the book, the people who didn't believe or don't believe in Islam will understand that the Islam is the truth. The people who are in Christianity or Judaism or so on and so forth, and they will see the connection that the Quran and Islam is continuing and clearing, purifying, cleaning the Bible, which it's all man manipulated stories and man added up stories and man accusations about the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the man who changed the texts for his own interest. Once they realize that, they will eventually become Muslims. And this is what happened on the time of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi when the ruler of the Abyssinia, he became Muslim when he heard the Quran, when he heard what's the true messages about Islam. Dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about those people who will be changing. They will become Muslims. And they will do the same things as a believer is supposed to do. He will stand firm. He will be patient. He will do good and forbid evil. And one of the most important things, they won't indulge. They won't go after the desires. They won't go after the temptations of others, non-believers. And they will also, one of the most important things they will do is they won't act and go with ignorance, with ignorant people. And this is very important, brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the difference between somebody who will do the right thing, stay on the right track, is knowledge. Brothers and sisters, anything, if you start and you do it without knowledge, you will fail. And this is what's happening. Knowledge is very crucial. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought down the Quran is for knowledge. Is to be the catalog. It's to be the constitution. It's the one you follow in your life. The reason is corruption, bloodshed, injustices is happening on earth is because people are not abiding by the constitution of this earth, which is the Quran. Brothers and sisters, Muslims, they got this constitution. But unfortunately, without implementation, without doing and applying and find the practical projects, the practical establishments, the practical institutions which will take that Quran from words to action, everything will collapse. And this is what we find in the Muslim Ummah or the Muslim society, Middle East country or all the Muslim countries. What went wrong? Is unable to understand the Quran, unable to implement the Quran, unable to act upon the Quran. The Quran has everything in it. How to become a strong believer on an individual level. How to change the surrounding around you. How to change a nation. How to change a whole world. That's all in the Quran. The progress. Islam wants you to excel in everything. Personal hygiene. Personal fitness. How you look like. personal dietary, what to eat, what you not to eat, personal appearance, personal guidance, your rituals, your prayers, your connection with Allah, interpersonal transactions and actions. It's all in the Quran. Excelling in all kind of technology, excelling in all kind of progress, medicine, engineering, agriculture, energy, research and development. Once you have and you're doing all of this because that's what Allah loves, that's what Allah likes, that's the exploitation and using of all what Allah have given us, using in the best way you can. And since that kind of disconnection between the Quran and the understanding of the Quran and the implementation of the Quran happened, the Muslim societies became in a rubble. They collapsed, morally collapsed. The character collapsed. The whole ummah collapsed. Only a few people, like you can say in Palestine or Gaza, who stand firm because they have the Quran in their hearts. Brothers and sisters, if all the Muslims right now disappeared from earth, will the world lose anything? Unfortunately not. Actually, the rest of the world will be better off. Definitely. Muslims right now are only consumers. Even the religion of Islam, the message which it is supposed to convey, they're not conveying it. They're not implementing they're not implementing it in themselves, and they're not conveying that message, spreading it to others. Because remember, others will not accept the message from you unless you're a representation for that message, unless you act upon that message, unless your character is this message. And that is why Sayyida Aisha radiallahu anha, our mother Aisha, she said about the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, he was a walking Quran. Remember that word. I want you to digest that word. Walking Quran. That means he put Quran in practice. Quran in practice. In every way possible. That's why he passed away, but he left those who took over the flag. He left a guy like Abu Bakr. He left a guy like Umar, which throughout his 10 years of being the Khalifa or the Caliph, Islam flourished. So what we need to understand is Allah, the weakness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, وَأَعِدُّ لَهُمْ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ مِنْ قُوَّةٍ وَرِبَاطِ الْخَيْرِ. Indeed, you have to show strength. How, Ya Allah, we show strength as Muslims? By preparing yourself, preparing your youth, preparing your society in every way possible. The strength, economic strength, technological strength, strengthen all the fields, brothers and sisters. That's what you're gonna make this ummah or make Muslims strong. But unfortunately, the dependence on others is what? On the foreign countries, depending on the Western world, you're dependent. You don't have any strength. And because of the hypocrisy, because people, number one, don't understand the words of Allah, and they are not faithful about it. They just want to gain. They work very selfish, hypocritical. And that's what we're seeing right now. Brothers and sisters, the solution for everything is the Quran. And what I was saying is, if Muslims disappear from this earth, the whole world will be better off. And the reason is, we're not participating. Muslims are not contributing to anything. Even the message which is supposed to spread, they're not doing it. So we need to have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a reason to tell Allah, yes, Ya Allah, there is a reason here. There is something here we do, which by that thing we do, we need you to do what? To let us succeed, to let us prosper, to let us become leaders, to let us control, to give us power. But without doing something for the sake of Allah, without changing our economical status, our technological status, our all kind of aspects in life, and all comes with knowledge and guidance, and all the guidance and all the knowledge are here in this book. Just to follow it, implement it, and we'll see the change happening. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, have brought down this book to be followed, to be acted upon, to understand it, to implement it. And we saw when the time comes and people do the right thing, and Muslims did the right thing, they flourished. But now there need to be a change. It need to be changed. And also the collaboration, unity. Brothers and sisters, Islam is a collective religion. When you come to prayer, you pray in rows, all together. Unity. When you fast, we fast all together. Unity. When you go to Hajj, all together. Unity. If you're not gonna love your brother, if you're not gonna sacrifice for your brother, if you're not gonna have mercy on your brother, if you're not gonna forgive your brother, we're not gonna get the mercy, the love, and forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's very simple. If we're not gonna trust each other, if we're not gonna put our hands together for only the sake of Allah, it's not a one-man show. It's a whole ummah. But you have to take away yourself, become a selfless person in order for this project to be accomplished. Dear brothers and sisters, we're living in a time where we need to wake up. We need to wake up and start thinking about our existence here and how we will be judged in the hereafter. As we see the situation is bad. Why? Because we cannot, and Muslims cannot, defend their brothers, their sisters, their mothers, and the rest of the hypocrites are sitting there watching, helping the enemies. What kind of argument we will be making in the hereafter? So the whole idea is we need to stand up. We need, number one thing is to establish the relation between us and the Creator of whatever He asks us to do, the prayers, obligatory prayers, then extra deeds, the kindness, the gentleness. Show the world, show others, show your neighbors if you live in the West what's a Muslim character is. Brothers and sisters, and get yourself knowledgeable. Most of the people, 99.99 of the people who are doing the wrong action on earth right now is because they don't understand. The lack of knowledge. They're going after the temptation, they're going after the desire, they're going after the lust, they're spreading all over the place, and then the lack of knowledge that this just today, first round, the shortest round this life will live in, the first round and shorter round, but everything will depend on this round. And they don't, the shaitan, the devil, their self inside takes them, they don't think about the consequences. And this is a very big, there's a message here, brothers and sisters. Before you do an act, think about it. Think about the probability. What this act, will this act get me closer to Allah or far away from Allah? This act will get me closer to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in hereafter, or away from him. That's why we need to understand. And the whole idea comes with understanding the Quran. Understand the message of the Quran. Comprehend the Quran. Read the Quran and understand it. Quran is not a song. It's not a song. It is not something you hear for amusement and you don't understand a single word. No, understand it. Read it and read the explanation, the interpretation in whatever language you understand. But get the message. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم.